this tutorial in PhotoDirector 365, we'd like to give you some tips on working with the shortcuts that you find in the launcher screen. Now, if you look at the launcher screen, you're going to see this animated upper right corner that's highlighting some of the features found in the brown icons. These are the brown shortcuts that are basically the newer features of PhotoDirector. Then you have a group that are gray. You can customize the gray ones by clicking Customize Launcher Shortcuts in the lower right corner, and then you can check or uncheck as many of these as you want and click Apply. Now, what I actually have done is taken all of the gray ones and unchecked them to make the menu smaller, because I prefer to edit in the edit mode. That's the bright orange box. I feel like it's more important for me to start with my photograph and then choose the tools. And this seems a bit backwards for me because it starts with the tools and then you decide what photograph you want to use. But if you want to learn what tools are available, that's the advantage of using these shortcuts. So let's try a couple and see how they work. First of all, we'll do the crop and rotate. Pretty simple, crop and rotate. I click on that, it takes me to my file system. I will find a photograph that I'd like to use. Let's try this one and click on Open. And there's my photograph. So I can crop and rotate. We have a tutorial on the new expanded version of this. Here's the original format basically. You can choose a custom one or you can pick one. Let's do a 16 by 9. And then I can modify it any way I want. I can also rotate it by using the slider at the bottom. And that gives me degrees of rotation, left or right. You notice it keeps the image inside so I don't have anything outside the image when I'm doing that. When I'm done, I'm going to switch to the expert mode. It will give me my modified photograph and I can continue editing if I so choose. We're not going to save that, so I'm basically going to close it out, not save it, and that gets me back in my default to showing my launcher. Now, if I uncheck this, it would have taken me out of the program. I would have had to reload. Let's look at another one. Let's try one of the more advanced ones, background removal and replace. I'll click on that one. And in this case, we could try it with one of their sample photos or load one of our own. In this case, we'll load one of our own photos. I'll take this one here and click on Open. Again, it will do some processing here, and the first thing it does is its default is no background. It removes the background completely, and I can replace it with an image if I want. They give me a whole host to pick from, or I can use my own image. Let's say we want to put this gentleman in front of this scene here. I'll click on this. It will download the scene, and now I have him here in what looks like might be New York. I'm not sure. There we have a new background. That's as simple as it works. I'll go back to expert mode and I could do further editing if I want to in this particular situation. So it introduces you to the tools. So we're going to close this out again. I'm not going to save it. And we're back to where we can try these tools again. So if you want to experiment with what you can do, working from the launcher is a good idea. If you want to start with your photographs and basically do editing once you're familiar with the tools, I recommend turning all these off by customizing it and unchecking the boxes and basically focusing on the two orange boxes as more advanced editor in CyberLink PhotoDirector 365.